Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the number one podcast in the world, Group Chat. We have a hot episode for you. We first break down other podcast news that's breaking the internet right now. So we jump into that, and then we talk about why stocks are down. Goldman Sachs is just paying anyone who walks in their fucking doors. So if you want to get paid, go there. Microsoft just bought the biggest thing they've ever bought. You won't believe the price tag, and it was all cash. We got the details of the wire. We will break it down.
It's FU money.
It is FU money. And
that's actually another level of FU money.
75? Yeah, it's a big number. Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Welcome back to Group Chat. And we have an interesting topic to discuss right out of the gate. And it's actually another podcast.
Yeah. Went viral.
Went viral.
Was top 10 trending topic all day on Twitter yesterday.
What was?
What we're about to talk about.
Okay, what was it?
So Chamath, who we've talked about countless times on this podcast.
They have a podcast.
They have a podcast called the All In Podcast that we've talked about. Was trending the entire day on Twitter yesterday because of comments he made on the podcast. And the comments, to be fair, in a larger context, you can kind of like...
What is the comment? Because not everyone listens to the podcast.
Okay, so yeah. And don't listen to the podcast. Listen to ours. So his comment was basically they started... First of all, it was supposed to be a tech podcast, but they've turned into full politics.
To that point, I've stopped listening basically.
Yeah.
And frankly, I took, something that we got feedback on our podcast on, which was regarding politics a year ago.
Yeah, stay out of it.
Yeah. And the thing is like, if you want politics, there are incredible platforms and commentators that are experts on the field that can talk about it. And frankly, the real reason... Politics is just too divisive in this country. You can't have a discussion about it. So there's no point to talk about it. Because as far as we're concerned, it's not good for ratings.
No, it's not good for ratings. And not only that, it's like, who's equipped to talk about it? Like, there's guys like Glenn Greenwald, for example, who spends his entire career researching politics, and you could disagree with him and his viewpoints.
I actually don't even think that's the issue, because I wouldn't say we're an expert on every single topic we talk about here. But the thing is people's opinions are so strong when it comes to politics that the moment you bring it up, it's already prejudged.
There's no upside, is what you're saying.
There's no upside. So like, even in ours, are we political experts? Absolutely not. We have political opinions, but what's the point to voice them? Because it's not good for business. It's just not. And so these guys have now dove all into politics.
Yeah. And I'm curious why they did, because early on in their podcast, I thought it was amazing because they actually talked like tech inside baseball. And like, me being an investor in tech for over a decade, like I appreciated some of the information they gave. I was like, oh, that's a really good take. That's really interesting. They've walked away from all of that.
You know what the problem
is? Do you
think
they just got too big?
No, I think when they were first talking about it, no one, probably portfolio companies or LPs, they're all investors. They're all investors in a lot of businesses, with the exception of Chamath, have LPs. So like, probably pissed off some companies they've invested in. Found, you don't want to give away your secret sauce,
of course.
So and
that was the magic of their podcast.
Yeah,
there was a trade I made based off of one of Friedberg's comments about this testing company. The trade with ticker BDX.
Yeah,
I just bought options because he said I think this is a good one, and I made some money.
Yeah, so I think that probably got them nervous.
Yeah,
because you don't want people doing that and then making investment decisions or whatever it is. But I also think it's just, since everyone in technology was listening to them, it's not good for business if they're saying, I'm looking at XYZ company.
Or if you're shitting on a company, you get ostracized from these circles. So for people who don't listen, these are 4 tech investors, 3 of which are billionaires.
Yeah.
And they dove straight into politics on the last episode. I don't even know how they got there, but they started talking about the Uyghurs in China.
Yeah.
The Uyghurs, for people who don't know, are a group of Muslim people in China that are in a concentration camp in a specific region in China. And the rumor is about 1 million people. No one knows the exact data because China doesn't release it. And they're being tortured. They're being sterilized. Like really terrible shit's going on.
Yeah.
And it's been talked about in the mainstream media a lot because people know about it. And the U.S. really hasn't done anything. Other countries haven't done anything because China's too powerful. And Chamath just went off on this rant on how the Uyghurs don't matter, that no one cares about the Uyghurs. And he has this like very poignant line where he's like, it's below my line of caring about it.
Yeah.
And, there's a larger conversation in the podcast.
I listened to the entire part where he was talking, and obviously the clip is what is going viral. And if you listen to it, just that clip, then obviously it sounds extremely insensitive. What I think, to play both sides, what his broader point was that when your backyard isn't taken care of, like there's so many issues in our own cities and our own country. How do you have the bandwidth to care about something else happening somewhere else? So to that point, I think everyone agrees with that. Like,
yeah, and I
don't think people are disagreeing.
That's one take, but I actually agreed with Jason's take on this, that you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like not caring about the Uyghurs, not caring about, the U.S. has spent the entire history of our nation helping other countries with human rights issues.
Yeah.
And sure, our backyard's not clean.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
But we're better off than everyone else.
Yeah.
Like that's undeniable. The U.S. is better off. And the U.S. supplying funds to like all these different countries for human rights issues actually makes an impact.
Yeah.
So Jason was right, in my opinion. And I think the problem with the way Chamath came off, it's just the rich guy, billionaire, arrogant take.
Well, it's very dismissive.
It's very dismissive. And I get there's a more nuanced conversation. I think the conversation really, if you want to go political, is basically like, if you're a politician and you're trying to win votes in Ohio, talking about the Uyghurs probably isn't going to get you votes.
Yes.
Because they care about their job, their ability to put food on the table.
Crime, education.
Crime, education.
Yeah.
So I get like, yeah, if you're making a political strategic decision, you're not winning votes talking about that. But being that dismissive, I mean, the right wing loves it.
Yeah.
The right wing, Clay Travis was the first one I saw posted the clip.
Yeah.
NBA owner dismisses the Uyghurs.
Yeah.
Then I just saw Mitt Romney posted.
Mitt Romney just attacked Chamath.
Yes. Mitt Romney's like, you have
Mitt
a fund
Romney
called...
don't pay no tax.
He has a fund called Social Capital. What social capital is if you dismiss the Uyghurs? And I think, and the Warriors, so Chamath is a minority owner of the Warriors. I don't know what his percentage stake is. He's not one of the main guys, but he definitely owns something.
Yeah.
And the Warriors distanced themselves from him.
Wow.
They made a public statement saying, he's not involved in day-to-day operations of the team. He does not reflect our views. And yeah, it's a whirlwind for him. And it's also like, I didn't see any of his podcast besties stand up for him.
Well, yeah, well, there's too much money at stake now. Like,
where's David Sachs talking? He talks about everything on Twitter.
Yeah.
Why isn't he just standing up for his homie?
I think
if someone attacked one of my best friends, they claim they're best friends.
Yeah.
If someone attacked one of my best friends that is a public figure, and they made a mistake, I would stand up for him. Even though I'm not famous, I don't have a big following, but at least make a comment like, this isn't right.
Yeah. I think the statement that should come from the quote unquote besties is, hey, it was taken out of context. Like, please listen to the whole conversation, and then you can make a decision for yourself on whether you view this as a priority or not, and you can act accordingly in your personal life. The problem I have with the kind of canceling of him is that it's just the arrogance for him that caught him, because he's right. I'm sorry, like you ask 9 out of 10 Americans, they don't care. And so conceptually he is right. Should we care? That's a different conversation. yes, we should care.
I think the problem is the way the conversation went, because I re-listened to it again this morning, is it was like an ego battle. He didn't like that Jason was getting right about the Uyghurs. Yeah. So he tripled down, quadrupled down on his opinions. And, I think it's also like these guys are all super freaking rich. They're all super successful. They're all super smart. Yeah. And when you have that big of a platform, like we've said shit on this podcast where I'm like, Tim, edit that out. Yeah. I'll text him right after. Like, we're not the biggest podcast in the world. We're
number one.
We're number one. Yeah. But when you catch yourself saying crazy shit, I've texted Tim after this podcast
all the time.
And I'm like, hey, take that out. Yeah. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Why don't they have, like, where's their editor?
I'm sure. Here's the thing is I'm sure they are editing stuff out of their podcast, but you also have to keep in mind, like, when you reach, and I know this because we're around a lot of very successful, wealthy people. When you're around those types of people, they also, like, what is Chamath's real consequence for saying that? Just public outcry.
Yeah, he's fine.
Exactly.
Everyone's going to take his capital.
Exactly. So
no one's waking up. No entrepreneur today is like, I can't take Chamath's $100 million.
Yeah, because you people are happily taking money from Saudi Arabia, no problem.
Yeah, of course.
And there's plenty of human rights issues there too, right? So it's like, I think everyone has to ultimately make.
So do you think he loves it?
I think he's having a chuckle. Because in his head, dude, he thinks he's invincible, right? And he kind of is. What? So a bunch of people shit on him?
Yeah.
What does he care?
Mitt Romney, Enos Cantor.
Yeah, Mitt Romney. I'm sorry. Like, Mitt Romney, that's a joke. That's the problem is that, like...
Yeah, unless it affects his life personally.
And I'm sure there will be instances in social settings where it is going to affect... Like, of course the guy has Muslim friends, and of course he has friends in China. Like, like, it will... When you're that is my point, is like there's no upside in talking about this stuff because society is too divisive. Like, you can't say anything, right? And there was a comment, I think, on a post I saw, we don't talk about how the NBA, I think it was on Praying for Exits. Actually, a listener of ours commented on it, and about the meme that he had posted.
Yeah, Praying for Exits had a
great meme
field day with this one.
Yeah, and but the comment was around, like, the NBA and how do we hold them accountable for how they have just basically taken a back seat when it comes to China, right? And so I guess it's all in your communication skills, because the NBA is not being punished for shit.
No,
but they
only the Rockets, right? The Rockets, because of Daryl Morey's comments, weren't getting televised in China.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone else did.
Yeah, but so I think it ultimately it's like a tact in the way you come across and your communication on a topic. But my advice to everyone is you shouldn't talk politics. It's just that's the reality. Like,
the pandemic basically ruined political discourse.
Yeah.
I think you could have talked politics. It was the combination of Trump and the pandemic.
Yeah.
Dude, when Obama was in office, like, there were things I disagreed with what his administration did, and there were things I loved about it. Yeah. And you were allowed to have an open conversation about it.
Yeah. Here's the thing is it's not just politics. It's everything. When I hear someone talking about the vaccine, I get nervous because I'm like, are they for it? Are they against it? Do I have to engage in this discussion? And this is not even on a public platform. Privately, someone starts talking about vaccines to me, I walk the fuck away.
Or crime. Crime's scary too.
Yeah.
There's some comments get flown around when you talk about crime that you're like, oh, that's a little
Yeah, exactly. So
you can't talk about anything.
No, that's why. Why did I say, I always, like, last weekend I tweeted out, yo, I just want to talk about wild card weekend football.
Yeah. I saw your tweet.
I don't want to talk about crime, COVID, vaccines, Web3. Even Web3 is divisive. There's just like...
Web3 is very divisive.
Exactly. It's like you can't... and you should only, like... Even if you like a TV show, you'll get attacked if you like the TV show. I mean, I keep telling everyone Yellowstone's better than Succession. It's like I'm
yeah, you might as well stab someone.
Yeah, it's like I'm Kushner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a really tough place to be, is where we're at with just discourse in general. Like,
yeah, it's just tribalism.
you can't.
And if you disagree with your tribe, you get kicked out of the tribe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Even like, I don't know. Like, I think that's why, like, you're seeing things like gaming and sports and stuff like that still be, it's like the one safe space.
I feel like sports is the place.
I think gaming, I would say gaming is like that.
I just don't know enough about it. But sports, I can yell and scream with people about disagreeing on opinions on sports and no hard feelings.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You could say you're an idiot for thinking this player is good.
Yeah.
Your team sucks, whatever. And everyone just takes it in good fun.
Yeah. It's just, it's
it.
For like,
what's going to happen in sports that we can't even disagree about sports? Like, I have most of my closest friends live in San Francisco and are diehard Warriors fans. I literally talk so much shit to them. Yeah. And they talk shit back about the Lakers, and it's all fun.
But you can't do that about the vaccine.
No.
Yeah, you just can't.
It's a weird time.
Yeah.
So sports is our last safe haven.
Yeah, I mean, I would say TV shows.
You just said you got attacked.
I did get attacked on this Yellowstone. You attacked me.
Succession is incredible.
Yeah,
you're wrong. Fuck you, D.
You haven't seen Yellowstone. It's that good. Yeah, it's interesting to see. Well, while they're, I'm curious to see how they address it, because it's obviously their biggest moment in their podcast history.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to get more listeners. It's a net positive to their podcast.
It's of course, because now you're curious. Who is this guy?
Yeah,
if you haven't heard
of them, you're going to go tune in.
Yeah, Mitt Romney's listening to the next episode.
Yeah, I think did Mark Cuban comment? I don't know, but
yeah,
everyone's talking about it.
Mitt Romney's funny though. All right, well, we'll see what they should be addressing on their podcast is why the fuck are stocks going to zero? It feels like the stock market's going to zero. That's the vibe I get. I wake up in the morning, you know what? I don't really own any stocks, you know, in a major way like you do. I look, it's just red. Everything's red.
It's like the positions I hold, it's like every day is down 3-4%.
Yeah. I don't know how compounding works on the negative side, but if you go down 3% every day, it adds up pretty quick.
Every day I have a text with a friend and we're just like, is this real?
Yeah.
Like another 3%?
Yeah.
At some point, there's a floor, right?
Yeah. And I was talking to David, you know, who works with us, and he's been in finance, I don't know, 25 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's your thoughts here? Because, you know, he has his own fund and he's a trader.
And he's brilliant.
He's a brilliant guy. And interesting take, his thought was, he's like, right now there isn't a floor because there is clearly, you're seeing the yield on the 10-year. I think it went to 1.8%. Mm-hmm. It was basically zero for the last 2 years. Paul Tudor Jones, who's a renowned investor, thinks it has to go to 3%. And that's where it stops. That's a long fucking way. And then if the 10-year bond yield is 3%, then there are better places you could start putting your money in bonds again. And then big chunks of cash will get reallocated to bonds. So if that happens, and obviously the thesis before was you got to put money to work, where can you put it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I could just tell you from personal experience with our parents' retirement account that I help manage. For the last 5 years, you couldn't put money in bonds. And the only bonds they kept were the ones they had bought 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because you still got that yield.
Yeah.
But you couldn't put money into new bonds. So you're forced to put in stocks. So if you think about our parents' wealth and millions of other people with similar wealth, it's just a trade, right? Yeah. They go from stocks to bonds because
there's people, preservation.
Yes, exactly. Most retired folks, and most of the money's in people north of 55, 60, right?
Yeah, they have all the money.
They have all the money. And they just are literally just in these constant trades where how do we not lose money and get modest gains?
Yeah.
Because most of these people have made enough money where they don't need it for their daily lives. And I'm on these calls, and it's the most conservative portfolio that you could possibly imagine with our mom. And it's just the conversation just like, okay, rates are going up. Let's trade out of tech. Let's trade into Caterpillar or whatever, and Home Depot and
bonds.
And then I'm sure the next call, we're going to have a call in probably a week or two. It's going to be like, let's get back into bonds.
Yeah.
Right?
Because if the world's falling apart, 2% sounds pretty good.
Yeah. It's safe and you make money. But I think this is where people get really, really rich.
Yeah.
Because some of these stocks are down 50, 60% just because of this trade from like get out of high risk tech growth and get into safe stuff.
Yeah.
But like we always know, over a long period of time, great companies are always going to be great companies.
Yeah,
like the interest rate isn't affecting a great company from performing.
No, it's not going to affect Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, none of them.
And those aren't even off.
Yeah.
I'm saying the growth stocks.
Yeah. Like Shopify's down 40%.
Shopify's down 40%. Coinbase is down 50%.
Yeah. Tons of companies.
Are down 40, 50%. DoorDash is down 40%. Like, do you think DoorDash is going anywhere?
I don't know. I don't use it.
I use it all the time.
Okay. And what's your take?
It's not going anywhere.
Okay.
I mean, the CEO just got put on the board of Facebook.
Yeah.
So if Zuck is validating Tony from DoorDash to be on the board, like, follow where smart people are like doing things.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's 13K filings. Watch which hedge fund billionaires are trading out of positions and which ones they're focused on.
Yeah.
And this is all public because they own so much of a company, you can see where their investments are. And if they start piling into one company,
just
follow them.
Yeah.
Like Bill Ackman is a perfect example. In March of 2020, at the lowest of the lows of the stock market, he goes, I'm long America. I'm buying everything.
Yeah.
And he made billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So
there'll be a moment to hop back in. And I think the thing about it is like you have to do the work on deciphering what is a great company, what's a good company, and what's a pile of shit. And
there's piles of shit out there.
There's tons of piles of shit, and I think
like Peloton.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. This is fresh 52-week low.
Interest rates have no impact on whether they're going to be able to sell more bikes or not.
No, exactly. Maybe the financing fees. I don't know, whatever it is. But they just hired a consulting company to review cost structure. And I think what's going to happen is like there is definitely, and the other part about it is like you're seeing obviously crypto also dip alongside with it. But crypto's kind of already had its pain, so I feel like it's not as painful as these growth stocks have been. The thing about it is also like there's money that's going to some of these growth stocks to me that have got clobbered look more attractive of a return than crypto. Like when you see like great Coinbase down 50%, I'd rather own Coinbase than Bitcoin. Straight up. Like I think when I've been thinking about the future of the opportunity.
Yeah.
They just seem like a better trade. It's safer fucking trade.
Yep.
Because Bitcoin is one thing, whereas Coinbase is servicing all of it.
Yeah.
We don't know what the trend is going to be. The volume for crypto is so fucking off, way off. It's like crypto trading's down. The volume, I think it was down like 50% this past week. So like when you look at the volume of where the money is going, it's going to be really interesting whenever this stops. And maybe it's just a bad year. It's just a slow year, and then it starts ripping again next year. But you just have to kind of stomach.
Yeah, my guess is that like it's like the half-lives of everything get shorter as technology gets better. So tech's gotten crushed, and it's been crushed since November, and it'll just come back quicker. Like I don't think it's a 2-year like malaise.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, this would have been a 2-year slog.
It could take all year though. I mean, there's no reason why 22 is just slow. It's just a sluggish year. We just been ripping for 10 years.
No, it's a fair point. But if you think about how much capital is out there, where are you getting growth? It's tech, right? Like it's undeniable. It's technology. Which tech companies are the good ones and bad ones?
Yeah.
Smart investors will figure that out.
Yeah.
And there's a price where they're all going to pile in.
Yeah.
And I think there's been enough of a correction where you're going to see smart money.
Yeah, I'm sure it's already happening.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, what's interesting is hedge funds have basically been clobbered the last couple of years because it was just so easy just to hold on.
I mean, most hedge funds got clobbered in the biggest bull run.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the hedge fund returns in 2020 when the stock market just ripped uncontrollably.
Because there was only one trade.
And they were just hedging though, because no one believed it.
Yeah.
Like family offices probably made a crap load of money because they were just like, fuck it, let's go for it. But you look at hedge fund returns, they're single digit returns in the biggest bull run we've seen.
So this year they should do well. The volatility is good for them, right?
Yeah, maybe
because they're actually something to trade. What happened in the last 2 years? It just went up.
Yeah.
There was no volatility. Like it just fucking ripped. One day it went down, then 3 months straight it goes up.
I'm curious like how founders think. So like these are great founders, right? Like Brian Armstrong, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, Tony from DoorDash. All these guys are just so fucking smart. But when your stock's getting crushed, it affects company morale.
So I can tell you, I am working with someone right now who works at one of these high growth companies, and you could tell he's like, if the stock hits X, I'm fucking out of here. He joined 9 months ago. Stock at a 52-week high.
Yeah,
it's pummeled now. His options are based on that price.
Yeah, and if you think about employees at these companies, they've seen their personal net worths divide by 2
instantly
in a span of 6 months.
I know I'm having a conversation with someone who's a president of a very large company, and same. He just like gets paid a really great salary, but he's like, I came here for the stock. The stock is basically clobbered. Why am I here?
Yeah, and that takes great leadership to keep your company motivated. Because I know the founders, these great founders we talk about, are so long-term focused.
Yeah, they're unhinged. Yeah.
They're completely unhinged. They care about the company morale. Yeah. But think about what all these founders have had to do, down rounds, like their companies almost went out of business. Like they're not going to care their stock's down 50%. And I'm just curious how a CEO manages their employees, because you hire all these like high-powered employees that thought their stock was, something.
Yeah.
And it's down 50%. So they might have been plucked. And if you think about like if they poach someone from Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, like you literally lost half your net worth.
Yeah.
In the last 18 months, which is crazy. Because most of these companies are poaching people from there. So it's a very interesting dilemma that I'm sure all these CEOs are dealing with. I haven't heard a ton of stories, but they have to be dealing with it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think...
Because like if you left Google to go to Coinbase or DoorDash or any of these companies, you lost half your net worth.
Instantly, right? I think most of those companies, what they could do is issue more stock.
Yep.
Cash bonuses. I mean, because I think I would guess at most of these growth companies, morale is way down.
Has to be.
Because that's why you get the best talent in the world. Is no other reason than money. Like that's why they come.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see if you see an exodus of employees.
Especially like in America, these like specific companies that went public, and then before the lockup period, you're down 50%. That's fucking devastating.
It's also just a shame on the SEC that employees don't get to sell immediately.
Yeah.
I think that's an absolute joke.
It's a joke.
Because the pre-IPO investors that invest the week before get to sell the next day.
Yeah.
And the employees who actually built the company don't have to hold for 6 months, watch their lives like whipsaw.
Yeah. Well, you know who's not whipsawing? Everyone over at Activision Blizzard. Holy shit. Microsoft just bought the whole damn thing. It says $69 billion, but they also said $75 billion. I think maybe that includes any debt they may have had.
I mean, when you're a $2 trillion company, 65, 75.
Whatever. It's irrelevant. And then that's immediately what I did. When I saw the price tag, everyone was like, oh my God. It was all cash transaction, by the way, too. Cash. Does Satya just like write a check, or how does it go down?
It's a great question.
I mean,
someone just like wires.
Can you imagine? Just like, imagine like the CFO is like, yeah, I'm gonna have to call to confirm the wire. Like, how does a $75 billion wire get sent? Is that the largest wire in American history?
I mean,
I mean, all cash.
Yeah, you don't really hear these types of numbers all cash. Like it's a portion stock, portion.
Just, yo, we're going to buy you. Here's $75 billion.
It's also like just a big swinging dick move from Microsoft. We're just going to give you cash. We don't want you to share in our fucking upside.
Yeah, by the way, our stock is too valuable, so we'd rather just give you cash that we don't think is valuable. So this is a big deal. So Activision owns Call of Duty, created Call of Duty. I think Candy Crush. They bought the company that created Candy Crush. They basically are going huge in gaming. So they have Xbox. They bought Minecraft. They bought World of Warcraft, whatever. All these crafts, all these games.
They own LinkedIn for some reason.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the hell they're doing. So someone posted a great thing. Microsoft has cornered wasting time. And they listed all the games that you can waste your time in. And the biggest waste of time, LinkedIn.
I mean, the biggest thing is them going through the antitrust stuff with Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Was the best thing that ever happened because they just flew under the radar. No one else can make a $70 billion acquisition.
Yeah.
No. And no one's even talking about antitrust with this. I haven't heard one piece like saying hey, there should be some antitrust.
Yeah, because like gaming is so, it is kind of like democratized in like, if you have, it's a piece of content, right? Like if you create a good game, anyone can go disrupt a good game.
But everyone said, oh, big tech's on the sideline, big tech's on the sideline. They're not allowed to buy anything.
Yeah.
And then this happens.
Yeah. It's a big purchase.
It's a big purchase. And I'm of the view big tech should be able to buy anything because we're competing with ByteDance.
Yeah. So
you're going to let China run all over us unless you let these guys execute. Like, do you think if Zuck was no longer the CEO, they'd be able to buy a $50 billion company?
Not in the immediate short term. You're talking about the antitrust stuff from Microsoft is what, like 20 years ago?
Late 90s.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So it's been a long, the
Microsoft Internet Explorer being the default browser and all that shit.
Yeah, that's like a long time ago. And I think the thing about what Microsoft has done brilliantly is they're so diversified that it's hard to say they have a monopoly on anything.
So like Facebook should go buy a pharmacy.
Yes.
Right.
Then they'll be like,
go buy Walgreens.
Yeah. Then they'll be like, yeah, whatever. You can fucking, it's a terrible business. Take it. But I think like that is the part. That's why Facebook's Oculus thing was never really looked at, right? They want to buy some weird hardware company. Yeah. They don't see the convergence of it. So I think like really interesting to see what happens with other technology companies. Because I don't think Google's making acquisitions all the time, but they're tiny.
Yep.
They're buying they're basically acqui-hiring technology companies all the time. 50 million, 500 million, billion, whatever. You don't even hear about these acquisitions. Whereas like a Microsoft, this is a big splashy, and this is their biggest acquisition ever.
Yeah, the previous one was LinkedIn, which is what, 20, 30 billion?
29, 29 billion. Which is nuts that LinkedIn was worth 29 billion. It's probably it was undervalued at that time.
For sure. What we've learned from big tech is they've stolen every business. Yeah. YouTube was $1 billion acquisition. Yeah. What would YouTube be on a standalone basis? 200 billion, 300 billion?
Standalone? Oh, dude, if it was standalone, it'd be worth way more.
So Netflix is a $226 billion company. Do you think YouTube is bigger than Netflix?
Yeah, 100%. How much revenue does Netflix do?
I think YouTube finally
they broke
came
it out.
Yeah, it was like 15 to 20 billion.
No way Netflix does 15, 20 billion dollars.
They spend that much.
Netflix revenue 2020. No, never mind. 25 billion.
Yeah, so they should be comparable.
Yeah.
But they bought them for $1 billion, Google. Billion change.
Yeah, insane.
Instagram, biggest deal ever.
Yeah.
Every company has been a steal. LinkedIn was a steal.
It was.
Activision's going to be a steal.
It will be. I mean, clearly gaming is such a big part of the future. But man, I didn't realize Netflix does 25 billion. Holy shit.
It's a lot of money.
And they did that price hike.
That was this week?
Yeah. That's
so
crazy.
what's the price now?
Depends what package you're on. It goes by quality. So if you want
shitty quality,
it's $9.99 for the shittiest, and it's going to $12. And then there's like $14.99, and now the top rate package is $20 a month now.
That's
4K.
Big price hike.
Yeah. But fascinating. Like this acquisition, I think I'm curious to see what else other big tech is going to buy. I think it's a big deal.
And I think we should let them buy it.
Well, you're not in that position to make that.
I'm not in Congress.
Yeah. So here's an interesting one. Goldman Sachs came out with earnings today, and quarterly profits declined, and they're saying because it shelled out an additional $4.4 billion in compensation.
Makes sense.
Who the fuck got all that money?
They're just trying to keep talent.
4.4 billion? What are they just walking around here? You know how much money that is?
Yeah, that means
there's
people
some
in banking,
partners making hundreds of millions of dollars this year.
Few, but there are some.
4.4 billion
But
is
I
a
think
lot.
I think it's really like across the board. My guess is analyst pay had to go up. Like, how are you competing? So the smartest people 20 years ago went into banking. The smartest people today are not going into banking.
Yeah.
They're going into so when I was in banking, this is fucking 2005. So 16 years ago, they would poach kids who were studying for medicine.
Yeah.
Engineers. It wasn't just finance kids.
Yeah.
They actually preferred the other kids because they were smarter than us.
Yeah.
They could study finance. Finance was the easy way out.
Yeah.
But I know people who left all those industries to go into finance because that was the most lucrative thing. People are driven by money, and today it's just
maybe the growth stock decline will help Goldman.
Yeah, maybe growth stock, like the Roblox engineers, just fuck this.
Yeah, I just lost half of my stock. I'm going to Goldman clip because that's cash.
Yeah, Goldman's cash.
They give you an envelope and they put some green in there and hand it to you at the end of the year.
But yeah, I mean, I wonder if there's gonna be some talent leaving tech. It shouldn't be because it's still the future. Yeah. But I mean, that was the thing. I remember, dude, some of my closest friends who are way smarter than I am left these way better careers they should have pursued for society's benefits to go to finance.
But 4.4 billion is a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no way a Stanford engineer is getting poached by Goldman. They're getting a Stanford business kid. They're not getting the Stanford engineer. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't think that position. No.
But that used to be the case.
Yeah.
15, 16 years ago.
It's interesting. But I mean, to blame it all on compensation is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because the banking business is booming.
Banking business is booming, but I bet their trading desk is getting crushed.
Well, this is last quarter.
Yeah, last quarter included November to December.
Yeah. So the first year analyst base salary went from 85,000 to 110,000.
That's crazy.
30% increase.
Does that pace inflation? So in 2005, our base was 55K. And the bonus for top tier was 80K. So you cleared 135K if you were the best analyst or in the top tier.
So they're probably making 200 now.
Minimum, right?
Yeah. JP Morgan this week is awarding investment bankers bonuses from a pool that is 30 to 40% higher than it was a year ago. That's insane. So wage inflation is real.
Yeah, I think especially when you're talking about this talent, because if you're a partner at Goldman, you could go be head of accounting at any of these SaaS companies and
pay you a lot
and assume growth stocks recover.
Yeah.
You make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah, you could go be CFO somewhere.
Yeah.
Trading revenue, so investment banking revenue jumped 45%.
Yeah.
That's insane to $3.8 billion. Trading revenue was down 7%.
Yeah, so the trading desk got clobbered.
Yeah.
I'm curious if the IPO window is still open this quarter.
I would say
there's a ton of private tech growth companies that are chomping at the bit trying to get out.
I bet you it is. I just don't see there's still appetite.
Just go up and it comes down.
Yeah, it's just you just know we're gonna price this high, and they'll price in the fact that it's gonna be down 50% in 30 days.
That's the move. That's what bankers have to do now.
Yeah,
just make sure you price it 50% higher.
Yeah.
Because it's all coming.
It all comes down. So how do you guys figure out the price of stock? Well, we know it's going to get cut in half. Where would you like to be? I'd like to be at $20 a share. Okay, we're going to price it at 40. We'll have you at 20 by March.
That's exactly what's happened in the last 13 months.
That's all. What do you think? You want to work at Goldman Sachs? I just taught you how to do an IPO.
Divide by 2.
Yeah,
that's the math.
They sit down with the CEO like, what do you think your company's worth? 10 billion? Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to price it at 20. We'll get some suckers at T. Rowe Price, Fidelity, and Vanguard to buy this.
Get the chain smokers.
Chain smokers in the pre-IPO. Have them help you ring the bell. This thing will be worth $10 billion in 30 days. Oh my God!
I don't know if I follow tech pretty closely. I don't know if there's a company that went public in the last 18 months that's up from their IPO.
Roblox.
Roblox might be it. But everyone else I follow, from their IPO.
Yeah. Everyone's way down.
Yeah.
Considerably down. That's wild. And there's some great companies, like you said. Let's move on. More acquisition, investments. This is interesting. LVMH takes a minority stake in Aimé Leon Dore, which, if you live in New York City, is basically the uniform of New York City.
Is it?
I mean, every person. When I walk around New York City in like the cool neighborhoods, it doesn't matter where, all you see is people wearing this brand. It is literally the official outfit of New York City. It's insane. It's so popular.
So should I buy some?
You should buy some. It's actually, I mean, they have great fucking hats. Incredible hats.
But it's full collection.
It's a full collection. Like if you wore it in LA, people would think you're cool. Because it's not like in New York where everybody wears it. It's like part of the culture. Here.
But is it only cool guys wearing it in New York? Or
no, everyone's wearing it. Like the banker's wearing it.
The Goldman banker got his 40%
Goldman who got the $5 million bonus, he's spending his money at ALD.
So talk to me about the brand, because I actually don't know the history of it.
So it started in 2014 by Teddy Santis, who's a designer and founder of the brand. It very much feels like, for me, and I actually went to the store in Soho last time I was in New York. They have a cafe attached to it. There is a line at the door for the cafe. The store was packed with people shopping. The way that I don't want to, misconstrue the brand the wrong way. To me, it feels like the new, cooler version of what J. Crew could have been. Like, it is classic Americana with his kind of take on it, but it has like intertwined of streetwear and luxury, and I don't know, the brand's phenomenal, like the way it's executed. And he's now one of the creative directors for New Balance,
which is probably why New Balance got cool. New Balance is a cool sneaker now.
New Balance is on fire.
I see a lot of cool kids wearing New Balance.
Everyone's wearing New Balance right now. They did the right collaborations. They have him creative directing. But I mean, I'm on their site. Everything's sold out. Yeah, everything's always sold out. It does well.
Maybe they need more inventory. Maybe
LVMH now. It's an interesting play, because I wouldn't view the brand as true luxury, because the price points are still like, you can still afford to buy stuff from there. Like, an average person can buy stuff from there. They make really nice, high quality product, but it's not like buying like a Dior sweatshirt, which is like $1,000. Like, you can afford.
Yeah, even their parka, which is typically the most expensive product in a collection's $1,000.
Yeah, which
would be like $4,000 at a luxury brand, right?
Well, yeah, way more. Yeah, some absurd price, right?
Yeah, the hats are only $65.
Yeah, the hats are great. But yeah, I think it's an interesting move. Huge for the brand. I mean, I'm assuming
I haven't seen it on celebs. Do celebs wear it?
Yeah, like, not like, it's like the cooler guys.
Like, is Zach Bia wearing
ALD? I could see him wearing it. It's very New York. Like, okay. I don't know. When you walk around New York, it's also older. It's not like a 21-year-old kid wearing it.
Okay.
It's like the customers, it's someone that probably grew up on street culture.
It's a graduation.
Yeah. Like, now they have money and they want nicer stuff. Like, you're not going to, that guy is not, or girl is not going to
Pac
J. Crew or whatever. They're not, J. Crew, right? or Gap, they want to go buy something nice and cool. And I don't know. I think it's a big deal. I mean, it's just hinting that they're probably going to go buy the whole damn thing at some point.
Yeah, they're probably going to roll out stores.
Yeah,
everything.
I think instantly you'll see a store in LA. You'll see a store in
Paris.
Yeah, you'll see a store everywhere. But pretty cool. So congrats, guys. The other big news is a friend of ours, Rhuigi, who is the creative director and founder of RHUDE, the brand, just got announced as the creative director of Bally, which is another luxury brand. This is a big deal because he's young. He is not like...
Is he even 30?
I don't think so.
That's
He's probably
crazy.
late 20s. And he started RHUDE in 2015, a luxury brand. And it's pretty cool that they're giving this is a 171-year-old brand.
That's wild.
Wild. So
171 years.
And so this brand is based out of Switzerland. So I guess he's going to have to live there back and forth.
Yeah, he'll probably have to do what Virgil had to do
Yeah.
with LVMH.
Because
Right?
Bally's not a small business.
It can't be if it's 171 years old.
I know it's huge in China. And, you know, he's a Filipino descent. So it's probably one of the first, I don't know.
Creative directors of
Yeah, maybe
luxury
there are.
houses.
I don't follow all the creative directors of all the big luxury houses, but it's a big look for LA for having someone like him do it for young people. I mean, he's not even 30 years old. It's so crazy. Big look.
I love how like high-end luxury has figured out this formula that you can let Rhuigi do RHUDE,
Yeah.
but still help a brand.
Yeah.
And it's the same way Virgil was able to be at LVMH, but still run Off-White.
Yeah.
And that's the thinking outside the box that I think traditional retail, meaning Gap, J. Crew, et cetera, really just missed the boat.
Yeah, like how did all of these designers are American
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting scooped up by European brands? It's nuts. Bally's owned by JAB, which is a conglomerate out of either Japan. I think Japan. I don't know.
I suppose Gap is the one that finally made the dive in with the Kanye stuff, right?
Yeah. So I think that, but that
It took fucking 20 years.
Yeah, but the problem is that doesn't help their core Gap brand, right? That helps this new project they're doing with Kanye, the Yeezy brand, right? There's no like, and the Balenciaga Gap thing is big, and
Like none of those kids in the Baby Keem concert that worship Kanye are walking into Gap
no,
because of
they'll
this
just buy it
announcement.
online.
Or are they even buying it? His like collection of hoodies, remember?
Oh yeah, they bought it.
They all bought it.
I know plenty of
The
people.
oversized
Everyone's
hoodie.
wearing that blue jacket. You see that ugly big ass blue jacket. Everyone's wearing it. They're buying it. Trust me. But I think like why not give Rhuigi a men's creative director at Gap and let him do RHUDE and let him live in LA and let him do whatever the fuck he wants.
But isn't that also the appeal for Rhuigi? And obviously what Virgil did is Europe is luxury.
Yeah.
And these guys are luxury.
Yeah.
And there's that like appeal that
Yeah,
you
pay
make
them-
it once you
Pay
get to
them $10 million.
I guess Jerry is a good example. Jerry Lorenzo.
Yeah. He is.
They kept local. Buy America.
Yeah, Buy America. Jerry partnered with an American. I mean, so credit to PacSun. They actually did it.
Yeah.
They are the one American company that actually did it. Partnered with.
Because Jerry's on the same level as Rhuigi, if not bigger, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say he's bigger still.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry is like Virgil level, like, and Rhuigi.
Yeah, so it's Nike and PacSun, which paid the check for Jerry Lorenzo,
yeah.
but no one wanted to pay the check for Rhuigi.
Well, now Jerry's with Adidas.
Or Adidas, sorry.
Yeah.
But like, why isn't, I don't know, like J. Crew doing this?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like if Bally's offering 15 million, I have no idea what he's making.
Yeah.
15 million a year,
Yeah.
offer 25.
Yeah. Goldman Sachs would.
Goldman, that's what they did.
Yeah. Goldman Sachs should hire Rhuigi as creative director.
Goldman Sachs should be, Rhuigi should be head of investment banking at Goldman.
I mean, Goldman should, if I was Goldman, I'd be paying everyone. Just have everyone under our payroll. Who cares? You're doling out $4.4 billion?
Yeah, why not have Rhuigi?
Imagine just how it would recruit people.
Of course it would. I'm not even making it's funny, but yes, if Rhuigi was an employee of Goldman Sachs, some like 20-year-old like nerd genius kid's gonna be like, oh,
you know what? I don't fuck with Rhuigi at Goldman Sachs. That's it. Yeah, it's interesting. This company that we're going to talk about, I have a feeling this company's just going to be massive. It already is huge. GoPuff.
Yep.
GoPuff is basically, it's considered quick commerce. So delivery of kind of essentials, right? They started
it's a liquor store.
Yeah.
Call it the liquor store. Gas station meets liquor store products.
And, they bought Bevmo, which I thought was incredible. They stole it, too. They bought it for so cheap, which in America, Bevmo is basically a, I don't know, like a kind of like an inexpensive place to buy liquor. And they now are launching private label products. And so they're going to launch 4 private label brands in things like water and paper products and cleaning products. They already have the data of what the customer wants. No one's brand loyal in those categories. And their goal is to eventually launch 100 products this year. This feels the closest thing in this category of, let's call it the essentials, that can crack Amazon.
I'm blown away by their execution.
Yeah.
Because what they did was virtually impossible.
Yeah.
They launched physical stores and added delivery to it.
Yeah.
That's so capital intensive. And we obviously don't know the real numbers, but investors believe this is the future. And it's just fucking impressive.
Insane. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing about this business for the last 5 years, and it felt very like, oh, they're big in Ann Arbor, or they're big in whatever.
Yep.
College towns just looked like the place.
That was the start.
Yeah,
the small town.
But now, it's just everywhere. It's fascinating, and it feels like they can really win in this like essentials category, where I think like it's probably an Amazon, Walmart.com kind of business. And I think for young people, if you're buying your vape pen or your liquor or your snacks, you'll eventually just buy other things from them. Why not?
It says 30% of Americans, so 30% of, call it 350 million, are within a mile and a half of a GoPuff fulfillment center.
Wow.
So it is the Amazon model.
Yeah.
Like they're controlling the fulfillment distribution. They operate 70 kitchens, which prepare food from the company's own recipes. Instacart, I mean, this is a competitor to Instacart, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is Instacart. This is everyone's competitor.
Yeah.
They're kind of going after
Instacart's another company that's supposed to go public this year.
Yeah. Luckily, in downtime, people drink and eat snacks more. So it could be good for GoPuff.
The thing is, I think the difference is GoPuff owns the stores.
Yeah.
Or Instacart is sourcing from Kroger's and Ralph's or whatever, right? And the margins are so low in groceries that this might be the better model.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to private label.
Yeah.
Now you're capturing...
Not only you owning the store, you're owning the brand too.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting. Well, good for them. Curious to see if they end up going public this year or not, but it looks like they've built an incredible business. What do you got here? You can make $100K walking dogs? According to The Hustle?
According to The Hustle, there's a person making over $100,000 walking dogs, which impressive. There's niche industries where you can make money.
Yeah.
This $100K dog walker, how much do you think he spent on NFTs this year?
Hopefully none. By the way, just jumping topics, the DeFi coins are just getting annihilated.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. It's pretty dark. I don't know. I mean, everything's just going down. The rug is being pulled. Seems like the top NFTs are holding strong. So I see Bored Ape is still kind of holding its own.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't really gone down that much. I haven't been following CryptoPunks. I don't know if they're down.
apes flip punks.
Yeah.
But yeah, the blue chip projects are still holding.
Which is impressive.
But yeah, DeFi, man, I really
Got
want...
defiled.
I mean, in the last 3 months, what like the average 24-year-old's bank account looks like. Because 6 months ago, they were the smartest people in the world.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of kids cashed out some.
You think? I don't think so.
You think they're all...
I think they all tripled down.
Yeah.
So they went from making whatever they did on DeFi's to these like NFT projects because to own an ape is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Like some random 24-year-old, unless they make a shit ton of money at Goldman Sachs, can't just go buy an ape.
Yeah.
So they're playing in the lower tier.
Yeah.
You know, these 1 ETH projects, 2 ETH projects, and those whipsaw.
Yeah, those haven't probably held value. Like, what's interesting, you know, about that, I think the thing that the NFT is maybe one of the reasons why some of these projects are holding, because it gives you cultural status. So it's almost like, fuck, if I sell this, then I'm out. Because like, it's so interesting when people buy an NFT of some, like a popular one, let's say, right? They post it as their profile picture, and then they're like, the way I equate it is, if you're someone that's not a social person, and let's say your social media isn't popping, and you don't get likes and comments and whatever, the moment you buy into a project that is semi-popular, you instantly have friends.
Right.
You all of a sudden be like, and everyone always goes, oh, I love this community. I love this community. Do you know what a fucking community is? A church is a community.
This is a community. Their church, though.
Okay, so
this Discord chat where they all talk about whatever projects they're interested in.
But you have to pay to buy friends, the way I look at it.
Okay.
So you're basically, if you have to spend 1 ETH, so you can put on your profile, then all these other people get to like and comment and retweet, and that's the most engaged Twitter post, Instagram you've ever had, because all the other people are pumping up their coin, pumping up their NFT too. I think to their credit, the magic of it is, if you own one of these and you actually believe you're joined a community because of it, you don't want to sell it because then you're no longer part of the community.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So like, there may be the reason why some of these projects are holding is like, you'll liquidate everything else before you liquidate, let's say, your NFT.
I mean, it's similar to church, right?
Yeah.
So you have people that donate all their money to church, even if they're poor, because that's the community that they want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And the last thing they'll do is stop donating to the church.
Yes.
I know people who do this.
Yeah, and I think that's what's happening with NFTs, and that's why I think they're actually holding price compared to the rest of the market, at least the blue chip NFTs. Because like, imagine if you're a Bored Ape owner, and then did you see that it went viral? This guy said he got hacked and his apes got stolen. And then this guy commented, he goes, I'm really sorry about that, but since you do no longer own that ape, please take off your profile picture. So
I saw that.
And I think that is why it's actually like the NFT genius is actually that it's culturally, your cultural relevance is tied to what is the most viewed thing of you, right? Is your profile picture.
Yep.
Right? Not in most cases, most people are not interacting with a lot of people on a daily basis. But if you own a popular NFT and you get to put that on your profile picture, so this is like obviously the bull case for why I think NFTs work, is that
I think NFTs work. Yeah. I'm not doubting that. Yeah. I just think there's a lot of pump and dumps.
Oh yeah, that obviously is happening. And I think to that point, the blue chip ones are holding because they've found a market, right? And people like, dude, imagine if you own an ape and you fucking sell it and you have to change your profile pic.
Yeah, that's a currency that I didn't even think about.
That currency I think is so valuable. Like, you can never sell it. Your identity is tied to this fucking ape.
Or you have to buy a second one and sell one.
Yeah, you sell one and keep one, it's like what sneaker resell kids do. Wear one, sell one.
Yeah, I get it.
So you spend $500,000 on apes just so you can have one to buy, one to wear, one to sell.
It's pretty much what you have to do. But the prices are insane.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many people have this much money.
10,000.
10,000 people.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But we know what's going on. A lot of these are getting gifted by other crypto companies. Like, there's all kinds of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of chicanery going on.
Oh, yeah. Big chicanery. All right. Ask it on social. What do you got?
I saw Logan Paul got duped. He paid $3.5 million for a Pokemon box, and it looked like it was just G.I. Joe cards.
Oh, someone
scammed him.
Well, I wonder if he came up with that scam too.
Just for marketing?
Yeah.
That he fake bought the 3.5. It's certainly possible. Those guys are so good.
Yeah.
So I would not doubt that. So maybe he's the winner.
Yeah, because we're talking about him.
Yeah.
Mine is our good friend, big week for Anthony. We talked about his big Wall Street Journal article.
Yeah.
He managed the artist Gunna. Gunna is #1 album in the country, beating The Weeknd.
Amazing. Congratulations, Anthony.
That's nuts.
So I got to say, firstly, I know you guys talked about the last pod I wasn't on. The article in Wall Street Journal was incredible.
Yeah.
And well-deserved because he's definitely like a very smart, brilliant guy that should be talked about more in tech. We talk about all these other investors and he's done incredible. So congrats on that article. And the tweet I posted has over 30,000 impressions.
Wow.
So thank you, Anthony, for giving me
see? That's your NFT.
Yeah.
See?
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I have like crazy people that retweeted it.
I think you were the first to post it, right? So it just yours became the source.
I'm the Wall Street Journal.
You're the Wall Street Journal. And I said on the last pod, it was one of the most popular articles for the day on Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, it's still on.
Yeah.
Like you launched the app.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats, Anthony. And Gunna beating Weeknd.
That's nuts.
I mean, he manages Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a hot time to be Anthony Saleh.
Yeah.
Could lose a little weight though. I know he has a Peloton treadmill because he gave me his other treadmill.
And Baby Keem, who he also manages, is Coachella.
Yeah. Hot year. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Great episode. Lot to take in. We will see you back here on Thursday. Do we have any shout outs?
No, we don't.
We don't have any shout outs. Great. So we will see you back on Thursday. Bye-bye.